Well, as you can see, TJ Corman is not hosting this show with us tonight. We have a special guest host for you. Our guest tonight is representing exactly what this league is all about: toughness, developed and overlooked until you couldn't ignore him anymore. Justin Rhodes, former Georgia Southern defensive lineman. Justin, your football journey started off in Durham, North Carolina, where you cut his teeth at the high school level, making your way to Wingate before going over to Statesboro. At Georgia Southern, you became a staple on the defensive front, earning all conference recognition, anchoring the Eagles' identity up front, and proving week after week what Sunbelt trench warfare is all about. Now you're taking that same edge and work ethic to the professional level and continuing your football career. Really appreciate you jumping on and guest hosting with us tonight, man.
Yes, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor to be on.
Yeah, man. I saw the picture that we're gonna put up here, and I was like, this guy's gonna have some fun and some personality with us. As we know, App State and Georgia Southern are going to face each other in a bowl game for probably the first and only time ever, right, man? I mean, this is kind of a weird circumstance in this one, right?
Yeah, when I had seen it on Twitter, the Georgia Southern hadn't even had a bowl game yet. Like, they were the last team to get a bowl game. And all these teams were saying they weren't playing. And then App came up. Why not? You got to take that one. You got to take App. I don't care. We in the parking lot. We take it out.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I think that's what's cool about it is both fan bases, because let's be honest, Georgia Southern won the game in the regular season. There could have been people that were like, man, this is, we're not looking forward to this. We already beat them once, which I'm sure there are those people, but it seemed like the vast majority of the fan base is actually really excited for this one. And so I love to hear and see that when I was on social media, that both fan bases are just like, yeah, absolutely, I am down for this rematch.
Yeah, you got it. I'm telling you, like, so me coming to Georgia Southern, I didn't really understand when they said deeper than hate. Like, I come from Wingate, I came up, and I was just like, it's a rivalry game. You don't like your rival, but then actually playing in the game and really understanding, like, the tense air it is when that A and that GS line up. It's a different feeling. It's a different feeling.
Yeah, I know, and you know it better than most. I was only hoping TJ would be on here with us, but again, I'm just glad we got some representation from the other side. I knew you were going to come repping, so I came to rep too, with the gold or yellow as
Hell Southern, no place else, man.
There we go. We'll agree to disagree on that aspect, but I love your intensity all the same. Ben James jumping in saying, "What's up, everybody?" and go Red Wolves. Ben is our resident Red Wolves fan, and he comes on just about every week. So, G Will's an ODU guy, says he scared TJ away. Oh man, yeah, they had a little back and forth on the last show because TJ didn't respect the fact that G Wills was saying ODU was going to beat USF, which we'll get to here in a minute. But I want to show the people kind of what your road has been like here, spelling it out a little bit. You played high school ball at Northern Durham, and I mean, you were born and raised here in what we call the Bull City in these parts. What does that mean to you? And just tell us about your high school experience before Wingate and then Southern for 2 years.
So yes, as you said, I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I played at Northern Durham High School, and it wasn't always easy playing. Really wasn't the best player all the time. Had to really work, had to really grind. Was blessed to get an offer from Coach Wright, Travis Knight, to go to Wingate. Played there for 2 years. Had a great experience. Those were great people. And then Coach Rip Rowan and Coach Helton helped me, gave me an opportunity to play at the next level, and I just took it. And when I got an opportunity, I just ran with it.
Nice. I love that, man. So Wingate, I've went to a soccer camp there a long time ago, and very nice campus, right? Very nice place to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Very nice place to be. Good people. Good people.
Yeah. So what made you leave Wingate? Was there, I guess at this point, was NIL and the transfer portal as big as it was now, or was this something that you said, man, I can get to that next level. I want to kind of see what's out there for me.
That's kind of what it was. I kind of looked at it. I kind of just weighed my options. It wasn't an easy decision by any means. I loved everybody that was at Wingate, my teammates, my coaches, but I just felt like that was the best move for me at the time.
Nice. I like that. And it worked out rather well. In 2023, you were all Sun Belt 14 for Phil Steele. He only, puts out the people that he knows can ball out. And so being honored by Phil Steele is a great accomplishment. And you were also honored as an all Sun Belt honorable mention from College Football News, I think is what it is. And and what did that mean to you to like jump up to that level and immediately be recognized for what you were and what you brought to the team?
It was really fast. Like everything kind of hit me all at once, but I knew that if I came up here and did everything I was coached and believed in myself and believed in my ability and put it in the Most High's hands, that anything can go. Like anything can happen. You just got to put your boots on the ground, go to work, and let everything else play out in itself. And that is just a resemblance of hard work.
Absolutely, man. Excuse me. I'm trying to the one reason we didn't do this together live, Justin, and I didn't even tell you this yet, is I've started to feel a little under the weather, so I don't want to infect you with anything. So if you hear me
Nah, you
get
good.
verklempt over here tonight, that's just me trying to
Yeah.
overcome an illness here.
Okay.
But
You good.
I got a question for you because we had Mr. TJ Smith on a couple years ago, and it looks like
Yeah.
you were a teammate of his. What was it like playing with him back in the day?
It was great. TJ was a great leader. He did everything right. He was a playmaker. He a ball hawk. He gonna go get it out of the air. That was a very good football player, very good person to play with. Really enjoyed playing with that guy.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone on to kind of do some inspirational stuff on like Instagram and stuff. So he just seemed like he probably has this bravado of like positivity and just
Right.
work ethic to get stuff done. So I knew you'd have something to say about him because he seemed kind of infectious when I talked to him as well. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad to hear. How many guys do you keep in touch with? From your playing days in Southern.
I keep in touch with a lot of guys. Davon Gilmore, Kieran Smith, Sam Kennison, Chewy Rhodes, Mar Watson, Trent. Like I talk Mark Stampley, like these are still my guys. Lodge Fall, Troy Pikes, like I can keep going. Like Isaac Walker, like I can keep going. Like these are my teammates. Like these are my brothers. Like I went to war with these guys. Like I blood, sweat, tears, like a lot of emotion, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. When you go through that with people, when you really go through the war and you really go through battle with people, it brings you closer together. Like in anything, like any sport, life, anything you go through with a person, like it bonds y'all together. So we have a tight. Those are my guys. Those are my guys.
Nice. I love that, man. I love that. Are there also guys on the team now that you still talk to, like some guys that were younger when you were there, but still on the roster now?
Kevin Secker, Eli Anderson, Latrell Bullard, Deshaun Davis. I talked to all the front. Yeah, I talked to a lot of those guys.
Nice. I love that, man. I love that. We got a couple questions for you coming in, so let's keep the focus going. Ben wants to know what your favorite NFL team is.
Keep pounding, man. Just took control of the NFC South today.
There you go. There
First
you go.
time
Now,
since Cam Newton MVP year. So I'm happy
there
about
you
that.
go. And was that? I mean, I guess you're of the age that they existed ever since you can remember football. Is that the case there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Were your parents fans of a different NFL team, or are they
My
kind of
dad
Panther
is
fans too?
my dad is a cowboy fanatic. It is how about them boys all day, every day. He won't let you forget it. How about them boys all day? Win, lose, draw. We them
Nice,
boys. He will say
nice.
that.
All right. Well, TJ is gonna like your dad a lot because he's a big boys fan as
Yeah.
well. Lee Whitmore is saying Justin is a good ball player. Yeah, definitely is a good ball player, and he continues to be. We're gonna jump into that in a minute, but again, we got some questions, so I want to get through those because these are fun. I like to find out more about the guys who are willing to come onto this show and talk about some ball with us. So Artie Cat is our resident Texas State fan. He says, hello, Justin. What are your hobbies outside of football, and what do you do to relax?
I play the game. I spend time with my family. I'm very family oriented. I'm really just a chill guy. I don't do too much. Uh, it's play the game and be with the fam for me.
Nice. A little video
I'm
gaming
sorry.
on the
I'm a
side?
little simple, y'all. I'm a little simple now. I ain't gonna sit here. I'm a little.
Are you good with the sticks? Like you a PlayStation or Xbox guy?
PlayStation 5, you can get 2K, Madden, NCAA. If anybody has a gamer tag, however we can get that on, we can do it. You let me know when y'all want that problem.
There you go. I love it. I love it. At least doubling down here. He's obviously a Southern fan. Hail Southern there. Ben saying Seahawks and Panthers next Sunday. Oh, he's a Seahawks fan apparently. That's weird because he's in Arkansas, so he must have had a favorite player to connect to there.
Right.
But yeah, shout out to the Panthers as they continue to do pretty well. Well, not great, I guess, right? I mean, what are now 8-7 now with the win today?
8-7. Hey, home playoff game at the bank. I will be in attendance.
Oh, there we go. You don't? Do you know any guys on the team?
No, I don't. But
okay.
I will still be in attendance. It's been a long time.
Nice. How long has it been since you took a game in down there?
Well, I just went not too long ago. Actually, we played the Saints at home. But I'm talking about since we've had a playoff game at home. It's been a long time, and we got
you're right.
You can't miss it.
There you go. You can't. Well, let's talk about other pro football here because now you're stepping back in to the pro football game in the Arena Football 1 League, which is the premier league for that brand of football. And you're with – this is a pretty sweet logo here. Minnesota Monsters, man. You literally signed like what, a couple days ago? Is that what I saw online?
Yes, sir. A couple days ago.
Tell us about this experience and, what it took to get to this level because the video that accompanied the announcement show you working at a speed camp. I think it was in Raleigh, right? And yeah. For a guy your size, the footwork, incredible, man. Very, very fun to watch somebody move like that at your size.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. So tell us what it was like to talk with and sign with this Monsters team. I mean, this is a team that's actually been around a little bit longer, but I guess they kind of rebranded from like a certain city's name back to the Minnesota Monsters because that was like a historical team name from the past. So what's that experience been like for you?
It's actually been great. Getting a chance to meet some of the teammates. We have a group chat we talk in, getting a chance to meet some of the guys, get accustomed to each other, just learning each other, and it's a great opportunity. Great opportunity.
Love that. And you said you are luckily not shipping up to Minnesota quite yet because that's probably about the coldest part of the year. But tell the people when you get up there and when the season starts for you.
So I get up there late March around 21st, 22nd, and the season will start, I believe, April 4th. April 4th, I believe that's when the season starts. So I'm excited, man. I'm ready to get to work. Like this is a great opportunity, next step in the right direction. I'm ready to get there, get to working and do the best I can to help this organization go up. Like that's what I'm here to do.
Nice, man. Well, and it looks like you got a pretty fun league to be in because I mean I think there's teams all the way down in Texas, all the way out west. There's one in Albany, New York. So you get to go some places, I guess, while you're playing this great game of football, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm ready.
Have you played arena football before, or is this going to be kind of a little bit of a change in that regard?
It's going to be a little bit of a change. This is my first time really playing this. Yeah, this is going to be a difference, but I'm ready. I'm excited. Everything, it's a new opportunity, new way to, advance my game, keep getting better. Like you can't, if you can find ways to get better, you can never be upset at any situation or anything. It's just keep taking steps forward.
I love it, man. I love it. And you get to keep doing something you love, right? I mean, I don't know what you do for work now. You don't have to say, or you can. But I'm guessing you're going to enjoy this a little bit more, right?
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy playing football a lot more. This game means a lot to me.
There you go. I love it, man. I love it. All right, so let's we'll continue to kind of go in and out of your playing days and experiences because it's going to relate back to what we're talking about today. But we'll go over quickly how this Sun Belt has started off in some of these bowl games here, and not necessarily the greatest of starts. I mean, Troy was our runner-up in the conference championship game, and they're going up against an in-state school like Jax State. Just from an outside perspective, first of all, how much Sunbelt football do you continue to watch now that you're out of the league? And how many, bowl games in general are you kind of taking in?
If I'm being honest, I watch the Eagles. The Eagles get a lot of my attention. I'm not even going to sit here and play around. I rep, so that is the team that I watch the most. But I pick watch around. I saw Troy almost beat Clemson. I've seen ODU be a really good team this year. Marshall was a really good team. Was a pretty good team this year. I watch around. I watch around.
Nice, nice. It's always hard too because some of these bowl games start at 2 in the afternoon. I know the ODU game started at 5. I think that's the next one we'll talk about here. But is the bowl season something that you kind of get up for? Like you played in some bowl games. Like is this like a really weird game because it's almost like starting over? And now with the transfer portal, you got guys that were on your team all season that aren't playing with you. Saying they're going to play somewhere else. Maybe sitting out because they got NFL prospects and don't want to take a chance of getting hurt. But what does the bowl season kind of mean to you as a player, or did mean to you, when you were playing in them?
To me, it's just to spend time with your brothers. You work all year to get here. Like, it's hard to win in college football. I don't think people understand. Like, when you're really in that fire college football, it is hard to win. So when you're able to win enough to get to a bowl game, you have to appreciate that. Like, I understand some people have to take care of their business, some people have to do this, that, and the other, but the whole purpose of bowl games is to play the game one more time for the seniors, for, like you said, people that's transferring, one more time to play as a team. Because when you look around, that team is not going to be together ever again. No team is the same once them last 4 zeros hit. So this is the last chance to really go to war with your brothers and make it count. And that's what it was for me.
Nice. I love that, man. Because you see how many of these teams, excuse me, have a good time around each other. And you're right. Like, just go out and have fun. I mean, obviously you want to win. It
Right.
kind of goes back to like the old school days of being a small kid, though. Like, just go out and have fun. And if you have enough fun and a good time with your brothers, chances are you got a good shot at winning the game here. Unfortunately, like we said, Trojans didn't come through in this game against Jack State. It's kind of, reinvigorating a rivalry because these are both Alabama schools. They both get, less recognition than Alabama and Auburn, obviously. But this is one that hopefully, now that it's been played again, kind of maybe makes an appearance in the regular season, because we're going to talk about App State versus Georgia Southern. I'm not saying this one was at that level before, but it sounds like there was some experiences with fan bases going at each other's necks a little bit. So, this is a game that Jack State kind of upset Troy in because, again, Troy was our runner-up and our champion went to the CFP. So I think Troy was the favorite coming into this. To lose 17-13, not all that great, but yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on this one, Justin?
Jack State. So I watched Jacksonville State. My apologies. Jacksonville State play against Georgia Southern, and that is a very well coached team. Like, that is not a pushover team. So Troy was a good team as well, but Jacksonville State was not a pushover team. That was a very well coached ball club that you was watching.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, excuse me. When they win this game like that against the Troy defense, like the offense we know for Troy had trouble running the ball.
Right.
But they could throw it pretty good. They didn't have their best option at quarterback available, and that obviously hurt them in this game. But full credit to Jack State for getting the victory in this one. Unfortunately for the Sun Belt, started our bowl season off 0-1, but we rebounded well because, like you said, you saw this powerful and potent ODU team earlier this season. They win against a team that was ranked very early and throughout most of the season, really, in USF. Did you get a chance to see any of the Cure Bowl here in this one in Orlando?
I saw a couple of highlights. I didn't get a good chance to watch the whole game, but again, these are two very good teams. You saw USF, if I'm not mistaken, beat a P4 earlier this year. If I'm not mistaken,
Yes, I
ODU
think they beat. Was it? Oh gosh, who
was
did they beat?
was it
I'll pull
Florida?
that up while you keep talking. Go
Okay.
ahead.
ODU had a very high powered offense. I've never beat ODU. sad to say, that is also a very well coached ball club. Their scheme is really good, and that's a good team. That is a good team. That quarterback they had, yeah, that quarterback they
Yeah.
had was the problem. I
Yeah.
don't know his
Colton
name.
Joseph.
That was his name. Yeah,
Yep.
he was a problem.
Yeah. And then they have a kid now in a very similar mold, Quinn Hinkle, who came in. And I'll tell you what, though, the one thing that I saw in this game, both quarterbacks got knocked out of this game. Quinn Hinkle returned, but he looked like he was completely knocked out. I mean, he got hit
Oh,
right under the
I,
chin with the helmet, and
I
he
seen
just,
that. I
yeah,
did
that
see
was
that.
ugly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I,
He,
all right,
dude.
I want your thoughts on that as a football player, right? So in the heat of the moment, I know what you want to do is you'd be like, no, I'm fine, I'm going back in. But like, what now that you can look at it from a little bit of an outside perspective, you've been through it, but now you've graduated, you can watch these guys from afar a little bit. Is that the kind of thing you're like, yo, that guy should not go back in this game? Or are you like, hey, if they say he's okay, then I'm good with him continuing to play.
That's like you said. That's kind of an outside now looking in situation. Now, like when you stop kind of for a little bit playing the game and running into people, and you realize like I might not am supposed to be doing this. Like this is not something I might not I shouldn't be doing. But when you're in the moment, like you feel like you're a warrior. You feel like when you're playing football, you're adrenaline pumping, you ready to play. Like you done put so much work, blood, sweat, tears in your moment. And sometimes that blurs you from your judgment. That's why people say you have to save somebody from themselves. It's a lot of football players you have to save from themselves because they would go out there and do it. Like they would go out there and try. They would go out there and because it's for the love of the game. I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior when it comes to football. But looking outside, it's not the smartest thing to do. But hey, when you in that heat, it it's go time. Strap up, let's go. Like
Yeah. Yeah, and he came back and he had a hell of a game. G. Wills is saying that he was triple checked before going back in. Look, I bring it up because social media erupted with this. There was known concussion experts and concussion doctors who were weighing in, saying he should not have gone back in the game. When we
right.
were watching it, TJ and I were texting, and Marv, who does the wrap-up show with us, texting a little bit, and both of their wives were like, if that was my kid, he would not be going back in that game.
Right.
Again, it's kind of like you were saying. That's the outside perspective. When you're in there and you're in it, obviously it's going to feel a little different, and it's going to be a little different. He did seem to be okay. I mean, as much as I would say, I don't think I'd let him go back in. He played phenomenal when he came back in. He didn't look wobbly or unsure of things. So I'm not going to question the experts that were literally on the field, but it is a talking point because again, we had some medical experts that were weighing in on it, saying he should not have gone in. And again, there's medical experts that are on site, and you probably dealt with them at times, Justin, getting wrapped up at least, or maybe getting checked on. I mean, how much of a concussion issue is there for guys on the line? I mean, you guys are really hitting helmets a lot, but like maybe not as at the highest rate of speed. So what is that, what's that situation like?
I feel like that's more so, like you said, more so secondary linebackers. Like that's people flying downhill 10 yards. We're in close quarters. Like if I get my hands on him close quarters, I'm not really using my head as much. I shouldn't. We're taught to keep our head out. When you talk the technique, I was taught keep your head out of it. Usually more of your hands. So it's not really a concussion issue. It's more of a lower leg issue in the
Yeah.
trenches. Like you get rolled up on quick in the trenches.
Yeah. Little chop block action when the offensive guys are over there.
Worst block in football history. The chop block needs
Yeah.
to be back.
Yeah. It's when done properly, it's pretty ugly looking.
Right.
It's sometimes you see a flag called and you don't see the play necessarily because right most fans are watching the ball and then they'll
Right.
show it on the big screen after, or when you're watching on TV and you're like, ooh, yeah, that was ugly. That guy didn't even see that block coming, or
Like right
bad.
at the knee. Like it'd be right at the knee. Like it's not a good block. I will never condone cut block. I feel like if you cut block as an offensive lineman, you can't block, and I'm standing on that. Period.
I like that. I like that. And G Wills did say, he was good enough to run a 50-yard dagger into USF's heart, and he absolutely did. Again, I'm not going to question as far as the experts on the field being wrong, but again, I did want to bring it up as a talking point because it was kind of a firestorm there on social media from some experts, other experts that were not there, trying to share their thoughts and opinion. But yeah, USF did beat Florida, which at the time they beat them, they were ranked. So they started off the year beating Boise. They crushed Boise 34-7. Then they beat Florida before. They did lose pretty badly to now the CFP Miami team, 49-12. But they went through the rest of their schedule pretty well until they got to Memphis and Navy on the road, which was kind of weird. But USF looked like a CFP team early on.
Yeah. That American conference is a good conference too. That American conference is a very deep conference as well. So it's not surprising that you get clipped up in the conference like the Sun Belt. You never know. In the Sun Belt, you never know. That's why they call it the Fun Belt. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're right. You're very right. And I think that's exactly what happened in this game for me as an outside, looking at a Delaware team who shouldn't have even qualified for a bowl game as far as, their transition from the FCS to the FBS, right? You know this, Justin, and probably from the history of Georgia Southern, you weren't there for it. But when they first came into the league, right, they won the conference championship before there was a championship game, but they were not allowed to go to a bowl game because of the transition year. Well, Delaware was allowed because they didn't have enough teams. And the next game is the same situation. But going in, the Cajuns had made like 8 straight bowl games. So I'm thinking, hey, advantage Cajuns, not only are they going to win this game, they are going to roll. And that was not the case. Is this kind of a surprise to you just based on that fact there? Or were you aware that Delaware is a pretty good team?
I didn't. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like Delaware is not a team that I have on my radar. No disrespect to anybody, any Delaware. That's not. I've never seen Delaware play. I have seen Louisiana play, and that is a pretty. That's pretty good, pretty shocking. But that's why you put the ball down and play. You got to put the ball down and play. The game ain't won on paper. It doesn't matter how many bowl games you won, how many. Louisiana went to the championship game last year. Like, that's a team that's known for winning. But when any given day anybody can be beat, put the ball down. Let's go. Let's play.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. They were just in the championship game. They have a history of winning. I just kind of thought that they should be, an easy winner in this one. I actually expected Lunch Winfield to go off and just have a huge game. Tyree Skipper to come back from suspension after that little brawl that was on the field with them in Texas State, which, I don't know if the guy should have ever been fully suspended because he wasn't the guy who started it. He was kind of defending himself. Yes, he did swing a helmet, but I mean, people are coming after him. So, I'm kind of like maybe one game if you just want to say to everybody it's not acceptable. I don't know, Justin. How many helmet swings have you been around?
I haven't been around no helmet swinging. We ain't got that far, but I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You react how you react. You just gotta be able to suffer the consequences for it. And like you said, a game, maybe like you said, you gotta send a message. Can't happen. So they're gonna always use somebody as an example. So.
Yep. I think that's exactly what they did there. Luckily, he did get to come back and play in this game, but unfortunately, as we know, 20-13 win for the Blue Hens of Delaware, who came up from the FCS ranks. They got a pretty good quarterback. Like you said, they got a pretty good team, man. Once you saw the game play out, you're like, all right, this isn't just luck. This team is actually good. And the Cajuns were just quite as good or as lucky that night, unfortunately. All right, again, the same situation here now. Missouri State also moving from the FCS to the FBS, but they got a bowl game. Were you jealous when you see this Xbox Bowl? Were they getting these, these mobile Xbox units?
I was literally about to say this might be the coolest bowl ever. Because I've seen the bowl trophy, the MVP trophy, and it's the achievement unlocked. Like, That gave me
Yep.
flashbacks of when I was little, and I seen that because I had a 360 growing up.
Yep.
Like I just got the PlayStation. I was a 360 kid growing up, so seeing that level unlock, like I was like, man, that's a cool MVP. That's a cool MVP. I ain't gonna say it a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Speaking of that MVP, that offensive MVP went to Corey Rucker, who has statistically become the greatest wide receiver in Sun Belt history and certainly in A-State history. I think it was a 70-yardish touchdown right at the beginning of the game that gave him the record there, and then he added more as they went along. This guy is looking like a surefire NFL draft pick. He actually declared for the draft last year, and maybe you know more about this, but I guess there's a way that you can kind of figure out where people think you may go in this draft process. And if you don't like what you hear, you can say, well, nah, I'm not gonna be a 5th or 6th round guy. I'm gonna try and come back and become a 1 and 2 or 3 guy. And apparently that's what Rucker did. Is that am I kind of right with that?
Yeah, that's basically what you do. You meet with people, just get an ear for what you're hearing, and like you said, if you don't like what you're hearing, you come back. If you like what you hear, you declare, you go on and continue your process.
Nice. Did you go through that process? Did you look at going for the draft and everything?
Oh yes, I did. I did pro day and everything.
Nice. Very nice. And Ben wanted to touch on the fact they brought 2 trophies. They started a new one, which is Armageddon. It's kind of the mix, the AR of Arkansas and the MO of Missouri. So Armageddon Trophy.
Okay.
It's not bad. I like the thought process behind the name more than I like the actual trophy itself. But it's not an ugly trophy. The Xbox Bowl, though, I think, like you and Ben said, like great, maybe one of the greatest bowl trophies that exist. I think they even said the one that's on the trophy was actually playable.
That's hard. See, like that's tough. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
Like that take it.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that was a downside in this game, just to touch on it real quick, A-State was up very comfortably in this game and actually allowed Missouri State to kind of close that gap and come back towards the end. It was kind of one of those situations where you knew it was going to be too little too late, because they attempt an onside with, a minute or less left. And they don't recover it because A-State falls on it to kind of claim the victory 34-28. But this was A-State's game early in the first half. And again, built up a big enough lead that Missouri State Bears could not climb back into it. But this was also a great game. You said your dad's a Cowboy fan. Have you been down to this Frisco area where the Star is and all this?
No, he has though. He hadn't taken me, and me and him. I know I don't like the Cowboys, but I want to go down that way.
Yeah, I'm not a boys fan, but I would definitely go down there and take in a game down there at that stadium because it just looks awesome. Yeah, exactly. And this is the Ford Center. So this is actually a smaller complex, like kind of right beside it or something. I guess it's where they practice or something like that.
Okay.
But very nice facility. I know that they host like Texas State high school championship games in this facility as well. So definitely a first-class place. It looked like everybody that I saw that went down for A-State enjoyed their time because of how nice it was down there. It doesn't hurt too, right? It's December. Yeah, Texas is probably warmer and it's not too big of an issue, but it never hurts when you go and play inside an indoor stadium, right, Justin?
Yeah.
And you got to do that when the Superdome, right?
New Orleans Bowl, yes sir. That was good. That was a great experience too. That I walked in there like, this is crazy. Like it's almost like this don't even feel real. Like I'm playing in an NFL stadium. Like where else would you want to play? Like this has been your dream since you were little. If you play football, you want to play in an NFL stadium in any capacity. State championship, national championship, bowl game, doesn't matter. That is something if you make it blessed enough to make it to the pro, like that is the goal. And to do that was an amazing feeling.
That's awesome. Yeah. What was had you been to New Orleans before? I guess is where I'll start with that one actually first.
When I was very little, I probably almost don't even remember it, but I have been down there before.
Nice. Is that now when you guys go for a bowl game? Yeah, I know you go a little early, but like, are you getting to spend like a couple days doing some cool stuff, or is it really just like a day before maybe, and then you've got the game type of situation?
I think when we went down, we did a lot of fun stuff before. Like I think we do stuff like 2 days, 3 days out of the week we there. It's a great experience. I think we went to a steakhouse. We went like arcade. Like it's different events that they had us do.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, you gotta tell me that you had some beignets when you were down there? Did you go over
You
and have
know,
the powdered?
there was a beignet place right across the street, but I heard there was a really, really good one, but I didn't find it. Like I didn't hear about it like right until right before we left. But I went across the street and those were good too though.
Nice, nice. I mean, you got to go and have one of those when you're down there. I feel like that's kind of the staple. They have a lot of staples in New Orleans, obviously, but that's
But the
one of the ones
beignet
that,
is
like,
the one,
yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah, messy, and that's the best part of it, right? Like just that
Yeah.
powdered sugar all over the place.
Telling
But
you.
yeah, it's kind of cool that that's kind of where the Sunbelt headquarters is, right? Like it's literally in the Superdome building. They don't quite have media days in the Superdome. I don't think they need to because that place is huge. You know, we're
Right.
not gonna take up all of it, but they do have the media days down there every summer in the city of New Orleans, in walking distance to all the great food spots that you just talked about, and a lot of people have experienced. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have our
I
headquarters down
feel
there in a
it.
city like that.
I feel as though the conference championship game should be played in New Orleans. But
I
hey,
guess my question to you on that is, do you think we'd sell enough tickets for it to make sense though? Because I'm assuming that's a pretty expensive place to rent out.
right, that would be the problem. I don't know. It's some diehard fan. You don't think App State would do what they can? You don't think Georgia Southern gets in the conference championship game? I know
True.
Paulson. I know Georgia Southern gonna come out. I know Paul. It's gonna look like Paulson in there.
Yeah, I don't. I wonder how far of a drive that is because that's one of those ones where you feel like a fan base would probably like want to drive and tailgate through. But that's the experience with the Superdome that probably would be tough because it's not really set up for like parking to be great at it, right? Because
Yeah,
it is really right downtown in New
right
Orleans, so
now.
it's not like you can just roll up like you can at Paulson and Kid Brewer and park up somewhat close to. I mean, I know both stadiums have situations where you're not really parking right beside it, but pretty easy
Right.
walks, right?
Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
What speaking of that, I've been down there one time to Statesboro. I don't know if it was a year you were on the team, or probably before you were on the team. I'm thinking, but what is it like to ride the old school buses in? Like, is that a pretty cool moment for the team?
That that so I the people that were there before me were letting me know how important it was, but you don't understand till you're on the bus and it's rocking, and we singing our anthem, and it's time to go, and we doing our chant, like it's the staple of that's the staple of Georgia Southern, like that is what Georgia Southern represents, like
Do you
yeah.
guys you even sit down, or is everybody just standing for the ride? Because I'm thinking with all y'all's pads on, it ain't really easy to just sit in this bus, right?
Yeah, we stand up, we shaking the bus, you sit down, you gonna shake the bus and you gonna do the anthem. That's all we care about. We don't care what you do while you doing it.
Nice. I love that, man. I love that those are like the fun traditions that we've got, in this conference. Like you said, it's called the Fun Belt for a reason, and some of those aspects are why it is considered that. So I love it right there. Ben's touching on A State and Mo State, I guess, as people call them, at a competition prior to um, their bowl game, where they were knocking down actual bowling pins. So that kind of makes sense there. And he's confirming that Ford Center is climate controlled. Yeah, that's a pretty good situation to be in for a bowl game. Again, it doesn't matter what it is doing outside. You are inside and comfortable. As a fan, it's probably more important than for the players, but I'm sure the players don't mind it. Who wants to go to a rainy bowl game, right? So that would not be all that much fun. Okay, Justin, I need your thoughts and opinions on a team that you played in, James Madison. They go to the CFP. They get beat by Oregon 51-34, but this team, kind of lucked into it, right? Virginia lost the conference championship in the ACC, which made way for them to jump, if you want to say jump, it probably stay above Duke with 5 losses. What are your thoughts on James Madison making it? Did you watch this game last night? And then is this like a one and done, or do you think the Sun Belt can get somebody back here as well? Let's start off with that first one, though. Is like, just what are your thoughts on their run here to the college football playoff?
So I known about James Madison since they were FCS program winning. So I know what that organization, that program is about. With Kirk, they moved up with Kirk Signetti. He's now, you see what he's doing at Indiana, and then Bob Chisney's finna take the job at UCLA. Then they're finna get Billy Napier. So it's like they're getting coaches that know what winning looks like. Because Billy Napier ran G5 for I don't know how long. I knew that, and I wasn't even in G5. So JMU is what they did. They showed that we can G5 can play with anybody, because I don't want to hear they just went up here and got blowed out when really none of the playoff games are really close. How many close playoff games have we seen? For real. Like how many?
Very few. Yeah.
Very few. And these teams don't have JMU sure doesn't have unlimited NIL. Oregon, who got boat races
Nike
last
money.
year. Like I just feel as though you can't, because now what they're gonna say, we don't need to put G5s in. This is why this is not a G5 problem. This is a system problem.
Yep. That's the thing that I like to hark on to people that are getting upset about this is like, you can be mad at the ACC for screwing it up. They have a weird tiebreaker. Miami wasn't even involved in their championship game. All the tiebreaker really needs to have in it is that your conference champion, if they're tied, the tiebreaker should be the highest rated college football playoff team.
Right.
Because Miami would have been in the game with Virginia, and then you probably don't have James Madison in the field at all. Right. Because either one of those teams winning goes on to the CFP, and they probably keep the other one out. Right? Like,
yeah.
And then Notre Dame gets in, and then everybody doesn't have anything to say. I totally agree with you, because it's just mind-blowing that people aren't paying close enough attention to how and why this was structured. They didn't put James Madison in because they thought they were better than Notre Dame or anybody else.
The system says because they were.
Yep.
The system. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut. I was just saying the system says that we have to have, what is it, the 4 or 5 highest rated conference champions. That doesn't say what conference. It says the highest rated conference champion. Duke at 8-5 is not a better, higher rated conference champion than a 12-1 James Madison in the Sun Belt. You can't sit here and say that. And Notre Dame's not even in the conference. I don't want to hear them crying unless they go undefeated. Really, if we're really being real, you got to go undefeated because you can lose. You can lose. Like that can happen for you. And you lost to NIU last year and made the national championship game because you're not in the conference. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you. That hurts. That almost hurt Miami. Like it took till the last weekend for them to say, you know what, Miami getting in.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I don't love about this committee. I don't love multiple things about this committee. I don't think some of them are true tried and college football fans. I think they kind of do this on the side, and then they were invited, so they're going to say yes. But I want like more hardcore college football fans to be in this. They do this pod system, right? And then so they said, oh, the reason Miami and Notre Dame were separated in these pods is because we take these groups of teams and we put them together until it makes sense to put them up against each other head to head. And they said until the last week they didn't happen to be within the same pod or group of 4 teams. And that's why they jumped. I'm like, you can't, that's the thing that I didn't like about it. You can't have this expectation that these 2 teams are where they're at and then say, well, because of losses and wins above and below them, now they're on this same thing. Now we'll go. No, you have to kind of be prepared for those things. So I just didn't like how they did that, and I don't think it makes any sense. Just compare every team to each other and get your rankings right from the start.
And if they beat them head to head, what else is there? What is there else to do? I beat them. I mean, if we're really like, what are we talking about?
I will ask you this on that regard. there's obviously times, and we saw it with JMU this year, right? They lost to Louisville early in week 2. They were running that 2-quarterback set. They weren't, in all likelihood, it was because Barnett was not completely healthy from the ACL injury. So they were letting him come on a little slower and giving him, reps every once in a while to kind of keep him engaged, but he wasn't the full-blown starter. Obviously, as the year went on, he became that guy very quickly. So it was like a different team. So how much do you lean on the fact that, head-to-head happened, but it happened early. Miami may had fallen off. Notre Dame had maybe been playing better. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying if that is the case, do you put weight into how a team is playing towards the end of the year and weigh that heavier than a head-to-head, or is the head-to-head should always matter?
I feel as though that you gotta take it. I feel like it all can be taken into account. I know that doesn't sound like the answer, but yes, Notre Dame played better on the back end of the year. But how can I say you're better than a team that you lost to? You got better, but you lost. I can't reward you for losing. I can't reward you for that. When we match up, because now we're matching up. You're not in the conference, Notre Dame. So now we're matching it up. Okay, yeah, they might have lost to Louisville in a conference. Louisville is beat who and what now we looking at Louisville who just beat JMU, who was also in the playoff. So now we got Louisville who beat 2 playoff teams. So how are you going? You can't hold that against. You can't hold that against Miami, because if Notre Dame lose to anybody, it doesn't matter. So now it makes it stricter on Notre Dame, because we can't reward you for doing things that other people aren't doing.
I
We
like
can't
that.
reward you for being independent. We can't do it unless you are
I do like
undefeated. If you don't lose, you get in. But if you lose, we are going to critique you harder than somebody that is playing in a conference, SEC, ACC, what have you. We have to grade that on a different scale. We have to.
Absolutely. I love that perspective. So we'll end with this one on the JMU thing. Like you said, we're probably looking at a different situation moving forward because of what the national narrative will be, that this game wasn't close enough, even though, as a reminder, nobody put up 34 points against Oregon's defense all season. Nobody put up over 500 yards of offense all season. JMU did both of those things last night. It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a blowout first half, but they fought back and they got this into a little bit more of a respectable game. For those that want to talk about the betting aspect, they did cover, right? Because the point spread was, I believe, 21 or 21 and a half. And they got it down to the 17-point spread there. But is this possibly it? Or do you think a Sun Belt team can kind of get into the college football playoff again, even if they change the rules? Do you think it's possible, or do you think they're going to do everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen?
It's just, so me personally, it's not a coincidence that we went from, what was it, it was 4 auto bids, and then Boise State got the 4th auto bid. Now we changed the rules. Oh, now we got 2. You cut your nose to spite your face. Now you got 2. So now they're gonna try to be like, okay, we're gonna have to find a way to keep, because now, like you said, it's not football lovers. It's not people talking the game. It's people thinking JV playing varsity. And I understand that, okay, yeah, JMU might be a little overpowered, but that don't mean we can't line up and play this thing. We just, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oregon is a very good team. Yes, they have big, strong, and fast people. Like you just said, they put up 500 yards, 34 points, with having 100 yards in total in penalties.
Yeah.
2 blown coverages for touchdowns. And what did they go? 2 for 5 in the red zone? They got in the red zone 5 times and couldn't. That's the difference. That's what Tulane's problem. That was Tulane's problem. That's JMU G5 teams. When they play in these playoff games, they have to score in the red zone. You have to come away with 6. You can't keep coming away with 3 with these teams. These teams are too elite and high power for you to just come away with 3 points. You have to find a way to get in the end zone when you get in the red zone. You have to make those opportunities count. And you got to be better on 3rd down, because JMU went 9 for 22 on 3rd down. You got to be good on 3rd down, and you have to score in the red zone to be the Power 4 team as a G5 team. You have to do it.
Yeah, and they had that one punt block, which really hurt them too, because you get one less touchdown here for Oregon. This game looks even more respectable, and I think the narrative changes a little bit more as that game, would have been closer. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that it was quite the point spread it was, but again, like you said, Oregon is a really good football team. They have
That's really
literal
good football
Nike
team.
money.
Right.
I guess I saw something, and I don't know how factual it is, but I'll state it anyway. Saw something on social media today that equated JMU at best maybe hovering around $50 million football program, NIL, all that kind of stuff kind of together.
Right.
But Oregon's operating with 3 times that, about $150 million to play with for all of this, stuff they've got going on. So all that to say, Oregon is also the number 5 team in the country. So like this was
Right.
always going to be an uphill climb for James Madison.
Always, but still, like James. But again, how many teams like just for me? I don't like how we talked about G5. Like all these games are close. It. SMU got boat break. All these teams lost. SMU got beat by what 30, and then what Boise do? Boise only lost by what 14, and they had some calls didn't go their way. So it's not like these teams out here boat racing. Yes, Ohio State, Georgia, those are the teams, like, those are the national champions. Those are the teams that nobody, now, JMU has no business playing Georgia, Ohio State. I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's not an ideal matchup. But,
Right.
like you said, it's a money thing now. So it's like the best players at JMU finna go to Oregon. So it's like the 3 players that we need to win this game that can get us these 17 points now play on their team and give them 17 points. So it's
Yeah.
kind of it's gonna always be that now. Because why would I go? Why would I go keep playing at JMU? Yes, I'm good. Yes, I'm a star. But I make what 1,500 a month. I'm just throwing numbers out, like you're just throwing a number out there. I don't know. But then Oregon says, "Hey, we have 300K. You might be the 2, but we got 300K. It's over with."
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's the one thing. So I want to go off on a tangent on that for a minute too. So you've played, in 2 different institutions, but when someone comes and offers you something like that, a lot of fan base or fans in general want to say, well, you didn't show us any loyalty and all this and that. But you said it actually right from the start. You kind of went to play for people who brought you in, not necessarily for the school. Like the loyalty really is to the people that help bring you in there. So when those people also are saying like, hey, I'm going to leave for a better job that pays me more money, how can they look at you guys as players and not tell you the same thing, right? Like, what are your thought process on that and experiences with that aspect of the game now?
I feel as though, like you said, it's just where we are. Like this is the new college football. Either change the rules or this is what we're gonna have to live with. You gonna have somebody go to 5 schools and make 100,000 from each school because they want to try to get like it's the portal now. That's where we are. And like you said, it's coaches leaving for bigger and better jobs. Sorry about it. Like these coaches aren't sitting here saying, no, I'm not leaving. What we see last night? Pete Golden, Lane Kiffin gone, Summerall out of here, Tisney out of here. Like it. I mean, that's just the world. That's the world of college football. You have to expect that in college football today, and that's just we gotta accept it. It's not everybody. I know all the old head. I'm kind of older head when it comes to this too. Like I'm not used to. Like you said, I came with NIL, just was getting really running its course. Like it wasn't even all the way there yet. So it's like it's new to me too. When you see what these kids make, some of these kids make more than adults. Like pros, it's some kids make more than pros. But that's where we are.
I just heard that the other day that they actually said if you look at the NFL and you're a possible prospect and you're rated as a 4 or 5 round guy right now, if you stay in college, you can make more money doing that than a rookie contract at that level. Like if you're not going to be a 1st or 2nd round guy, you might as well stay in college and try and become one.
I'm going back for my 7th year, and I'm going to get 300K. And I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I'm going to be 26, making 500K. And but why? Why not? For what?
Right.
Like you said, why not? If they're gonna grant me eligibility to keep making money at the college level, why not do it? I don't never knock it. Get your money. They've been making money off of college at sports since I don't know when. They ain't missing no money. Them
No,
NCAA ain't missing no money. I promise you.
nope. Are you? Do you really actually have eligibility left, or are you completely done?
Oh no, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
I was just saying.
You were
No,
just
yeah, I'm
saying it.
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I just wanted to check because I'm like, hey, you were playing during COVID, so I didn't know if they say, hey, you can still have one if you want. Like I didn't know
Nah,
how that was
man, I'm
going.
done, man. I'm done.
All right. Well, just checking, man. I want to make sure you weren't going to show up in this bowl game to help your boys out over there at the Eagles. Oh man. All right. Well, after rounding that out, obviously the CFP game is not considered a bowl game, so our current bowl record in the Sun Belt right now sits at 2-2, which isn't bad. But I think from the perspective we looked at before, I expected this conference to be at least 3-1. So
Right.
not terribly off pace, but 2-2 is not bad. We have 4 games left. Justin, before we started recording, we did talk. We're actually going to have a guarantee of one more win and one more loss because the game that we're going to play against each other as App State and Georgia Southern. So that one this current bowl record is guaranteed to be at least 3-3 at some point. But what is success to you as a conference? Like, do we need to have a winning bowl record? Does that not matter at all because teams are vastly different than they were throughout some of the regular season? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I feel like the Sun Belt gonna always be respected as a conference. Like I don't ever think people are gonna say the Sun Belt is a weak conference because the proof is in the pudding. Like we just put a team in the playoffs. I know, like we can rep that. Like that's something you can stand on as a Sun Belt conference. Like you just send a team to a playoff and compete. Like you said, it was ugly in the first half, but we sent a team that just walked out of there and can hold their head up. So like the Sun Belt gonna be respected because you have to play the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt has the most the P4 wins out of any G5, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know if it's the American or anything. But I'm pretty sure that the Sun Belt Conference will be all right.
Yeah. They also, I think this is another time, it was a couple years ago, we put 12 teams in bowl games.
Right.
That might have been a year you were in one of those 12 bowl games, I believe, actually. If I'm not
Was it
mistaken, that
23?
was 20. I think it was 20. Oh, you might be right. It might have been 23, actually.
Yeah,
Might have been
23.
23.
Probably, yeah, 23, probably most likely.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
And now I think this year we also, because of App State getting in, have now the most in the group of 5 or non-autonomy, as the Sun Belt likes to call it, which is like just way too much to say. Just call it the G5. It's just easier to say. Oh man. John Butler was wishing everybody Merry Christmas, and he says, "Go Dukes! Good luck to all the Sun Belt teams this week." We actually don't have many games this week. We only have one to speak of this week, actually. So we'll kind of look at that one real quick. This is a bowl preview for the New Orleans Bowl, which features Western Kentucky going up against Southern Miss. Western Kentucky 8-4, Southern Miss 7-5. Just outside thoughts on this one, Justin. You think the Sun Belt prevails in kind of the home stadium, the headquarters stadium, or you think Western Kentucky could come out on top in this one?
So Western Kentucky is coached by my head coach's brother.
Yep.
And that's a very if he's anything like his brother, that's a very well coached team. That is a very well disciplined team. Southern Miss just lost their coach. That goes back to what we were just saying earlier. He was there for a year. He gone. He bounced. So I don't know how that dynamic is going to be for them. Maybe they band together as a team, but it will be very interesting to see how they regroup from that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point that Huff is now gone to Memphis. The good news for Southern Miss, and maybe this helps your thought process, but Blake Anderson, who's coached, in this conference before, Arkansas State, left for a few years for, I think, Utah State in the Mountain West, and has been other places as coordinator. He was on the staff here at Southern Miss and has now been named the head coach for Southern Miss. So a guy who's had experience within the conference and obviously as a head coach. I don't know. It's hard to say, like you said, though, because you lose a coach, you bring a coach in. Are you completely bought into him and his new way of doing things?
Right.
I don't know. I want to say I want to see Southern Miss win this one, obviously, but the end of their year obviously wasn't as impressive as the beginning of their year, where they were pretty good defensively. A number of these players, like you had said before, Marshall was a good team. Some of these guys came from that team, right? Like Braxton
Right.
here pictured, and a couple other really good defensive players over there, Josh Moten. But I will say this, statistically speaking, I favor Southern Miss in this one because they've got the better quarterback who
Right.
looks like he, runs as well as he passes. That's not the case for Western Kentucky. And you know that, right, from Helton's brother coaching over there. He's really the air raid type offense.
Air
But this
raid.
quarterback for the Toppers this year doesn't seem to be the gunslinger that they've had in the past. Didn't throw that many touchdowns, had a decent amount of interceptions. And their running game, doesn't blow you away. Pittman for Southern Miss is easily a better rusher than what they've got over there on that side. But pictured here is a guy named Henry at the wide receiver position, 762 yards, 6 touchdowns. So it looks like that may be the weapon. Like
Yeah.
that Helton's offense is going to be spreading the ball out through the air. But
Very wide receiver centric offense.
yes. And we're going to talk about one of your wide receivers here because he's one of my favorite players, even though he's on a team that I'm supposed to hate. I've had a lot of fun watching him, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So just a final call on this one. Who are you going with, Western Kentucky or Southern Miss in this game?
I gotta go Western Kentucky only because
Okay.
I don't know how they're coaching. I hate to go against the belt, but I gotta go Western Kentucky just because of the coach situation. Like you said, it's hard to play for somebody new. Especially, I get he's been in the program, he's been a head coach, but the foundation that the previous coach set is kind of hard. That's why some of these coaches are coming back to coach their teams because they understand that how hard it is to transfer over and go play a game in such a short time. I guess it's kind of a short time, but that it's still not enough time to really understand your coach or your new coach, rather.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point. It is definitely a factor. We've seen it be a factor at play in other teams, so we'll see how much it plays here. I'm going to go with Southern Miss just to go against you for one, but obviously just so that the conference can get a win here. I think I'd like to see them get back to their winning ways. I think this is a team that many thought were going to end up in that conference championship against James Madison and stand a chance to win. And they just kind of faltered towards the end of the season. So I'm hoping they step it back up and at least get us a nice victory here in the New Orleans Bowl, kind of, again, win down there in Sunbelt headquarters and make it look a little bit better. All right, this is a game neither of us know anything about, but just joking. The J-Lab Birmingham Bowl. I'm not. Is J-Lab like a headphone company? Do you know?
Yeah, I think that's like a speaker company, headphone
Speaker.
speaker.
Okay. So they might get some nice swag. Before we get into this one, talk about that. Like when you go to a bowl game as a player, you're getting some cool stuff, right?
Shout out Andy, man. That was our equipment manager at Georgia Southern. He always got us right for bowl game. He had us fresh. I still got my sweatsuits up there in my closet. So
Nice. And what kind of gifts did you get? Because I think if I'm not, I mean, maybe they don't all run like this, but there's certain bowl games where you get to go in and like pick certain stuff you want, and then there's other ones that just gift you things. I guess I don't know if did you experience both, or is it
so
always kind of go pick some things?
Myrtle Beach, we had shade. I think they gave us some headphones, neck pillows. I think they gave us they gifted us stuff. New Orleans too. I can't remember what we got. I think we got a book bag. We had got like travel bag. We had got like a suitcase. Like yeah, they got us right in New Orleans. I ain't gonna lie, they got us right in New Orleans. Myrtle Beach was
I
fun too.
figured that. Yeah, I was gonna say I figured that bowl game probably does it pretty well.
Yeah.
And Myrtle Beach has probably got some cool stuff because it's the beach place and they have some stuff that deals with that, I'm sure. But yeah, the Superdome better be giving nice swag gifts. That's what I'll say.
Right.
All right. Again, we talked about that wide receiver who stands out for you. How much do you know about this guy named Camden Brown? Because he has been one of my favorite players to watch all season. Yet again, We talked about Corey Rucker for A-State. This guy's the Corey Rucker of the East, if you ask me. Just a standout, obvious superstar who's going to play at the next level on Sundays, right?
Absolutely. So I didn't know anything about him because I was already gone before he got there. He had, I forgot where he went previously, but I think it was P4. I think he
He
came
was
from
Auburn.
Auburn, came from Auburn, and I was just sitting there watching, and it was USC game when I really understood who Ford was gonna be. So they threw it, and he caught it, and he dunked on him. I was like, okay. Then he did it again. And if you can do it twice, yeah, that let me know everything I need to know. But he's a very good football player. Very good football player.
Yeah, I think I have his stat line in front of me here. 63 receptions, 1,049 yards for an average of 16.7 per catch with 14 touchdowns. He was labeled the Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year. Pretty easy to see why with that stat line, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Very,
Yeah,
very talented. Talk about this. You say you've watched these guys, right? It's not just the stat line, though, right? Like, it's the way he makes catches and the way he can control his body in the air and get up high enough to high point the ball and bring it down. And I think I've even seen him make a number of one-handed catches. Like, it's just a talented player overall, right?
With a player like that, like, that's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 60-40, 70-30. Like, I like his chances more so than whoever that is guarding him. Like, that's what he's put on tape. It's go throw it up, go give me the ball, and I'm gonna go make something happen. Like, and he yeah, good player. Good player.
Yeah, he's been great, and JC French has been pretty good getting him the ball. He's got 2,758 yards on the season for 19 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. Again, your Georgia Southern Eagles walked into Kid Brewer and already beat App State once this year. We won't quite get to the prediction just yet, but what are some other guys that people need to be aware of that maybe haven't watched these two teams like we have throughout the year? I mean, you've got some pretty good running backs over there and some other wide receivers as well.
You took the words right out of my mouth. OJ Arnold. Watch out for OJ Arnold. That is a very good ball player. On the defensive side, Davion Rose, Jacob Ferguson, like, these are good for MJ Stroud. Like, MJ Stroud has really came on this year. MJ Stroud has really developed into a very, very good football player this year.
I got a question for you on that then too. Obviously, you play that position. So when you're watching a game, do you watch it differently? I would assume you do. You're watching almost more of the line play than where the ball's at least at the very start, right?
Because that's going to tell me how the game going. All I got to do is watch up front to see how the game is going to end up. That's all you need to see, because that's what the game is won in the trenches. I ain't never seen a team win. Yeah, in the NFL, Pat Mahomes, this, that. When he ran into a defensive line that was relentless and got after him and they couldn't block him, it changed the whole game. When the Eagles can move people out of the way and run the football, changes the whole game.
Yes, it does. And like you said, OJ Arnold's been great at doing that this year. I got a question for you on a former App State player who jumped over to the Georgia Southern side in linebacker Brandon Harrington. He's the third leading tackler on the team. He's got an interception on the year. He's been a pretty solid player for them. First, what do you know about him, I guess? And what do you think that dynamic's like when he's coming over from a team that, like, is a heated rival? Like, did it take some time for him to probably blend with his new teammates, or do you think that was pretty quick?
So I don't really, I'm not super duper close with him, but I had some talks with him. So I was actually at the App State game, and I seen him after the game, and he was just happy. He was happy. He was happy he got a W. He was very happy he got a W. But yeah, I'm. If it's anything like the Georgia Southern, I know we accept people. Yes, we know that you might have joined. You know, you was over there, but you over here now. You family. You chose the right side, so you good. Like, we good.
Nice. I like that. Henderson was always one of my favorite players with the way he played, the intensity that he came with, right? Like you know this. Most people are going to be aware of it, but like when you play in defense, you got to have some nasty to you, right? Like you can't just be the nice guy on the defensive side of the ball.
Nice.
Yeah. So to speak to that, like what has to change in the head when it's go time for a game as a defensive player?
You just, hey, we here. Like, it's you ain't no turning back. You scared, you better turn around and go back in that locker room because it's time. Like, on defense, like you said, you kind of gotta have some screws loose. Like, you gotta be able, you gotta fly around and hit. Like, you want people to think it's 15 people on the field. Like, that's how we, like, offense pretty cute. You can tear all that down. You can mess up the paint. And that's what I like to call it, this beautiful paint. When you was a kid, you seen somebody. Well, I was a little bad of a kid. I was a little bad kid. If I see somebody nice little painting, I want to mess it up. I want to paint over it. That's a can that offense try to paint this pretty canvas, and I want to punch through it. We're gonna punch through it. We're gonna tear it up. We're gonna rip it up. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Be dogs, man. Just go have fun and be relentless.
Nice.
That's my mo.
I love that, man. I don't think some people understand that part of it. Like, oh, this guy, pushed this guy down after the play. What a dirty play. I'm like, your mindset is off like a little
Right.
bit when you're in that mode and that mentality. Like you know, we're not nice guys in that moment, right? Like I am going up against you and you will not succeed. Like that. It's just something that, like you said, you got to have some screws loose. That's a great way to put it. Like you want the guys that are a little crazy over there on your side.
Right, especially up front. Your D line
Oh
got to
yeah,
be a crazy. Them got to be the most loose. Them got to be the ones with the most loose screws. Can't have
there
no
you
nice
go.
guy. Can't be a nice guy and play defensive line.
No, I would assume not. So speaking of the defensive line, I don't know if you know this, but both guys who had over 1,400 yards apiece for the Mountaineers at quarterback position will not play in this game. Both have entered the transfer portal, and it sounds like freshman quarterback Noah Gillen, who threw 32 passes for just over 100 yards throughout the regular season, is going to be the guy unless somebody else pops up that is a surprise. I'm guessing that's going to be a pretty big factor in favor of the Eagles, right?
Yeah, we're gonna send. We just need. You know what to do to young quarterbacks. Put him in that kitchen and turn the heat up. Let's see what he do when he turn the heat up in the kitchen. That's the first thing everybody know. You get a freshman, send him heat. See what he gonna do. Like, and
There you
Coach
go.
Darius Safford is now the new DC. Congrats to him. Shout out to you, Coach Saff. That's my guy. And
Nice.
he's gonna have a game plan and he will have the guys ready.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Georgia Southern is going to be, maybe even a little more up for this game than App State because of what App State is not going into the game with. It probably doesn't feel like they are as strong as they could be. I mean, I believe they're gonna have Rashad Dominion there available and healthy. I don't know if Shakari Lewis, who's kind of the number 2 back, who actually had more touchdowns than Dominion throughout the regular season. I'm not sure if he's going to be healthy enough because he got injured towards the end of the season and I don't think played in that final game there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top of my head at this moment, but a wide receiver core, tight end Isaiah Cummings was one of the better receiving options throughout the season. He's out for the rest of the season after an injury at ODU, and now I don't know who's going to go. So as much as I want to talk garbage to you and say my team's going to beat yours, I just don't know if I'm confident with what we're walking in here with.
Come on, we'll get you one. Go ahead and pull the
Yeah.
trigger. Go ahead and do it.
Well, I will say we had some baseball guys on, and one of the coaches that we had on did send me a very, very nice GS polo that I do rep. I'm not against it. You send me nice swag. I do appreciate and I will represent. I don't do it on game days when we're playing each other, but
Okay.
sometimes I break it out at work. So that's kind of a fun thing. We had a couple other teams send us some stuff. So hopefully that can kind of continue. But yeah, I mean, deeper than hate. I'm excited to see it. Again, I guess we'll get a prediction from you, but I think I know where this one's going. Just pulling the shirt. Sadly, I am
Like,
going. There you go. Oh, you got the whole
like, come
Eagle on there.
on,
Yeah.
man. I can't really, man.
How much? Oh, I got a question for you before I go on to say my piece here. Do people recognize the logo around here in Durham?
Yeah, it's actually a surprise how many people are tied to Georgia Southern. Like every time
Okay.
I say something about Georgia Southern, somebody, grandma, great aunt, the sister, brother, cousins, dog, brother, the went to Georgia Southern has something to do with it. It's crazy. Georgia Southern has a lot of ties.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think that's kind of the fun thing about this rivalry is not necessarily people that work directly with each other or something like that, but there's just so many people that are around the same area that went to one of the two schools or have something to do with them, which just makes this a good talking point and a fun game. Again, Deeper Than Hate is a great name for a rivalry in general. I'm glad it's in this one. I I hate to do it, and I want to be a homer. I'm wearing all my app stuff, but I'm gonna have to agree with you. I just don't have confidence coming into this game that App State is going to go in there with an inexperienced quarterback against a team they already lost to, and some guys who've also hit the portal, which I don't expect to play. Some of them may play. That's the other thing about this whole portal thing. Some of these guys declare, but then still play. Other guys will say, no, I'm not going to play because I'm trying to get this bag and I don't want to get hurt before I get over there, right? Because then they're going to say, no, we don't want you in here. So for that reason, I sadly am going to favor the Georgia Southern Eagles. The only good news for me is that the conference gets a victory in this one by default. So we get a victory, but we also unfortunately will absolutely take a loss. Did you think about getting to this game, or is there any possibility you're going down to see this one?
I will be watching it on TV, but I will be rooting. I will be watching.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I wanted to get down there for this because this is probably one of the only times they'll ever play each other in a bowl game. But with the holidays and it being a Monday and short staff at work, I can't get out of there. I wanted to, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But I am looking forward to that one. So
I also want to say, I think that's what I also want to credit Coach Helton because every bowl game he's played, not too many players leave, transfer, want to sit out. And that's a testament to how he gets his players ready to play and how he preaches brotherhood and we really lock on to that and play for each other. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. That makes sense. Randy's got you here too with the gotta.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've met Helton one time down at Sunbelt Media Days. I actually really liked interacting with him as a coach. I really appreciated the fact that as a media member, sometimes when you ask a question, the coach goes off on a spiel and they don't look at you and they're just answering the question and everything else. But Helton looked me directly in the eyes and directly addressed the question to me and answered me to my face. And I was like, man, I really appreciate that. First of all, it was my first time down there at Media Days, and I had a coach who was showing me the respect like that. But he also just seemed to be genuine in his answer too. He wasn't giving me coach speak, So I like Helton. I hope he sticks around and really continues putting this program up because I think the one thing that we will agree on, this game is more fun when both teams are good, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. Randy is going. He's going to the game. He ain't going to miss the game. Anything can happen. Yeah, I do agree. Anything can happen. We've seen it in bowl games before. But, I think the Eagles are coming in with a little bit more firepower. So I will expect it to go their way. But I will be okay if it doesn't. All right. Bowl game. And you talked about Coastal a little bit, I think, before we went live. They're playing what will become a future member of the Sun Belt, maybe as soon as next year, but contractually at this moment, La Tech is still not coming in until 2027 due to being in Conference USA and the legalities there. But hey, we saw, what was it? Southern Miss, Marshall, and ODU all leave Conference USA and get out of the same kind of contract without much issue. So I believe La Tech will be able to be a member as soon as next year. But this is a little preview of what's to come. It would be a cross-conference, cross-division matchup. So it's not something that would happen yearly. So I'll ask you this way, make it real easy on this one. I don't care about the statistics, whatever. do you want to see, the team that's currently in the conference go ahead and win this game, or do you not mind seeing La Tech come out on top because, make them look better too?
We can go. I'll go Coastal.
Okay.
I think Coastal can pull this one out.
Yeah, I like to see it. I know Coastal's also been hit with some injuries. Samari Collier, they're all everything quarterback really came on and just lit up the season for them. Got hurt, so we'll see. I think it'll be Tad Hudson who will be their quarterback, who's had some up and down moments. I'm not as familiar with the La Tech side. With them not being a conference member, I haven't paid attention to them as much. However, this same La Tech team did beat Southern Miss earlier this season, so that there's something to kind of equate it to. Coastal and Southern Miss did not play each other head to head, so you can't even kind of take that and see where you could go. But just thought I would mention that one. Any other thoughts on this one? I mean, you played in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. You went up against Coastal. Is this a tough team to go up against?
Yeah, yes, it's a very tough team. I played them when Grayson McCall was around. He was running around in the Sun Belt. So the Coastal's always been a tough challenge. You have to bring it when you playing that ball club.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. And Coastal has got McCall back on the coaching staff now too. So he's not running around like he was back in your day, but he is still around with the program. So it'll be interesting to see. They also have a new coach who came from Missouri State. The one that we just saw against Arkansas State. So interesting that the movement's coming in like that. I think Ryan Beard, I believe, is his name. So we'll see what he does to that Coastal culture over there in Myrtle Beach. I don't think he's going to coach the bowl game if everything that I had read is factual. But I'm sure he'll be in attendance. So be interesting one here for La Tech and Coastal. Again, future conference mates, but this one will be one that I'm hopeful that Coastal can pull it off. If I had to put money on it, I'm probably putting it on La Tech because, again, I think the quarterback position at Coastal is one that has me concerned heading into this game. But Randy's saying down with La Tech. They ain't Sunbelt yet. Go Beach Chicks.
Go Beach Chicks.
Yeah. Now, as a player, do you guys refer to them like that, the Beach Chickens, or is that you just call them Coastal?
Yeah, we just call them Coastal. We don't call we just call them Coastal.
Got it. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll see what happens in that one. And again, let me to mention these things. So that first game with Western Kentucky and Southern Miss is Tuesday, December 23rd. So not far from now, this week. The App State Georgia Southern game is not until Monday, December 29th. So we've got some time before that game happens. That game is followed by the one we just talked about with Coastal and La Tech on Tuesday, December 30th. Both of those games are at 2 p.m. So if you're off work or school, easy to watch. For those of us who have jobs that go till 5, a little bit more difficult, but maybe we can swing a mobile phone look, while we're working on stuff. This one here, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, will wrap up the Sun Belt Bowl season. Kind of fitting, right? Because we've got a Friday, January 2nd matchup. So this one's not even until the new year. But we've got Rice going up against Texas State, who is leaving the Sun Belt. So they are wrapping up Sun Belt Bowl season while also finishing their time in the Sun Belt as they move over to the Pac-12 or Pac whatever they're going to be called over there.
Pac-12,
yeah. As we know, Big Ten doesn't mean anything because they have 18 teams in the Big Ten, so the names don't even mean anything anymore.
Conference realignment, man.
Yeah. So Texas State came into the season with lofty and high expectations to win a championship before they made their exit. They end up going just 6-6, but they do have a high-powered offense. Brad Jackson here, 3,000 yards, over 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions. Their running back, Lincoln Perry, almost 200 yards for over 1,000, or I'm sorry, almost 200 carries for over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. And then Bo Sparks is 80 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. They're going up against the Rice team, who's just 5-7, coming out of that Conference USA. Or actually, are they? I think they're actually American, aren't they? I want to double check that. I think they're American because
in the American. If I'm not,
Yes,
mistaken.
you're right. They are the American. They are the 11th place team in the American. So I, I want to just go out on a limb here and be like, I know Texas State wasn't great, but Texas State puts up points. I mean,
Yeah,
they just score a lot of points. Their defense is not the greatest, but I'm looking at Rice's schedule here. Lost to Houston in a blowout, lost to Navy in a close game, FAU in a close game, UTSA in a blowout, Memphis in a blowout, North Texas in a blowout, and South Florida in a blowout. Because of the offenses they've already been beaten by, I'm leaning towards the Bobcats to kind of wrap up Sun Belt Bowl season with a victory here. What do you say, Justin?
yeah. I'm gonna go with the Bobcats as well. Like you said, I actually watched a little bit of Texas State when they played UTSA, and that was a very high-powered offense. Like you said, that's was one thing I noticed that offense can put up some points. So I expect them to do so.
Yeah, and just to kind of sell the point of like why we would lean towards the Bobcats here, that the leading quarterback for Rice, Chase Jenkins, which I got to be honest, I haven't even looked up the fact that this kid could be in the transfer portal and not even be playing in this game. But even if he is playing in this game, he threw 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. So, and that's their leading quarterback. It's not like another guy played a lot. He had 172 attempts. The next quarterback had 21. So their leading quarterback threw 9 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I mean, it's just not blowing me away. I'm not scared of that if I'm on the defensive side for Texas State, right?
Right. No, I would. Yeah. Like you said, then we gonna test. They probably we gonna see what he is. We gonna see what he like. You test quarterbacks like that. You have to see. You make them beat you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that will wrap up the bowl talk. So before we get out of here, Justin, I want to ask you just about maybe the overall picture of college football moving forward. Do you think something needs to be done with like essentially like a salary cap so that teams are more equal across the board? Or do you think there needs to be a separation between the top programs in Division One and maybe the G5? Are you a fan or a person of thought that there needs to be a separate playoff for the G5, or what are your thoughts on just the overall picture? Whatever you want to say, it's your time to talk on this.
So I would just say as far as the G5 and playoff goes, it would be hard because we're still G5 is still part of FBS. We play FBS play like we're a part of FBS. You can't like FCS, D2, all they have playoff because they're their own division. We're a part of the FBS. Like we're not just G5. That's money. Like that's a money thing. Like everybody knows that would kind of hinder us if that if that's the right word, but that wouldn't be wise to move away. But I do think that if Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia want to go to a super conference, I wouldn't be too mad at it either because they're already complaining about playing lower level comp anyway. So go make you a super conference, have a commissioner, Nick Saban or whoever, and go from there. But I think we're at the point now where salary cap is, I mean, it's hard to reverse what's been done, right? To put a lid on this thing, it's hard because you gotta go through so many different loops and this booster here, NIL revenue share. Now we're in the revenue share. It's not even NIL anymore. It's revenue share. So it's gonna be tough. But I think we had to get to this point because of how much money the NCAA was making, like off of just players. You had players like Johnny Manziel who can't even like was getting in trouble because he's selling out jerseys. He built half of the stadium. I watched the documentary. They built half of the stadium for the money they made from people watching him play. And I can't get I can't get any of that. I can't touch a dollar. I gotta go hungry. I always disagree. Reggie Bush lost a whole Heisman, like lost a whole trophy. I was a Chase Young fan. I remember Chase Young got in trouble for plane tickets. Chase Young got suspended for 4 games for plane tickets. So yeah, man, I think we just got to the point where the way that we went from 0 to 100. Like we went from nothing to everything. So once you do everything, it's hard to go back and say, no, we taking that away. Because now you're gonna get pushback. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, it's a hard situation, and it's gonna take people a lot smarter than me to figure it out.
Yeah, same here. Like I have ideas and thoughts, but like you said, somebody that gets paid money to do it is going to have to figure that part out, and we're just going to have to live with it. But like you said, hopefully it makes some sense, because I'm totally for players making money. I wish there was some type of way to level the playing field somewhat. It's never going to be equal. I'm not saying JMU and Oregon are ever going to have the same money. I don't expect something like that.
Right.
But there should be a certain amount that you should be able to spend on your roster to some portion, right? And if you say the power programs have this and the G5 programs have this, then at least there's something. Because there's private schools that we play against, and they got more money than we do, right? So
like
it's hard.
But I will say that has leveled the playing field, because if we're being honest, this been going on. This has been
True.
Nick Saban didn't get everybody. Nick Saban got Tua Tagovailoa to come from Hawaii to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's nothing like California. He was all the way over there West Coast, and you got him to come to Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. So now that it's open, we see the SEC isn't as strong as it used to be. It ain't just the SEC no more. It's the big. We got Texas Tech. Texas Tech ain't been good since Michael Crabtree went to school. Now they're a top 14. Why? Because they have a $25 million budget that Pat Mahomes is helping get back, and Michael Crabtree, all these alumni. Ohio State last year was the highest NIL paid team in the country. They're the national champions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the
way. You get what
now.
you pay for, right?
You get what you pay for. If you got a $50 million roster, you most likely gonna be in the playoff competing for a national championship. You got a $2 million roster, you're gonna get the doors blown off in the first round. And that's just how it's going. Like that's just how it's going. Like it's not, because that's why I partially understood the Cinderella. Nobody wants Cinderella because it's football. Like it's a little different. I still think they can play, but like you said, like Oregon is unlimited. Like I can't lose to you. Even I don't care how good of a team you like we can't do that, and they're paying us like that's you right. Like it's just not. We can't. It's impossible to do. It's not impossible, but it's not a good look if we lose to a team and the coach make more money than the whole NIL budget. Like that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely is, man. It's hard to overcome money. So let's get you out of here, because I'm sure you got stuff you need to be doing. I'm going to hit the sack because I'm trying to overcome this cold I'm starting to get. But before we do, first of all, good luck, Minnesota Monsters. Enjoy that trip up there in March. Keep working hard before that happens. And also let the people know your socials, man. I think some people are going to want to follow you a little bit after this.
Yes, follow me on Instagram __ J Rhodes. Follow me on Twitter at JD Rhodes 2020.
There we go. Love it, man. Don't go anywhere, but we're going to wrap it up here. And thanks you very much, Justin, for joining us tonight. And we'll see you guys next time.